Undoubtedly, you've heard of a water pump. So what is a water pump? Well, basically a water pump pumps coolant through your vehicle's engine and it prevents the engine from overheating. Now, the name water pump goes back to when, in the early days of an engine, when water was just used for coolant. But nowadays we use sophisticated coolants to prevent corrosion and engine boil over. Most water pumps are simple mechanical devices driven by the drive belt or a timing belt, or on some engines are actually located internally and driven by the timing chain. Many vehicles use electric water pumps as well. Now some use it, they don't have a belt-driven pump, they actually use an electric water pump which can be switched on and off commanded by a computer, which maximizes the efficiency of the water pump and engine cooling. Or they'll use a smaller water pump as a supplemental pump, either used for the heating system or it's used for turbocharger intercoolers or supercharger intercooling. So most water pump failures are caused by worn out bearings. So inside this housing there's a bearing, and they usually fail, and that'll cause the bearing to develop play and leak. There's also a seal inside, and again the water will leak out of the seal. Now on an electric pump you also have possible failure of the electric motor. How will you know if your water pump's failed? Well, first of all, your engine may overheat, which would be indicated by your temperature gauge going high. A warning light may come on your dash indicating the engine's overheated. You may also notice coolant on the ground. Usually antifreeze has in the past been a green colored fluid, but nowadays it comes in a rainbow of colors. So if you have a fluid that's leaking under your vehicle, that can also indicate a water pump failure. Also noises can occur. So when the bearing wears out, there can be a loud sort of like a scraping type of noise while your engine's running. And so that can indicate a water pump failure as well. Repairs to water pumps can vary. It can be a simple job, like on this Mercedes, not too difficult to remove and replace this water pump, a couple hours worth of work. But it can also get extremely complicated on engines I mentioned that are timing chain driven water pumps. You actually have to remove the timing chain cover, remove the timing chain to change the water pump. Extremely complicated. So there's a huge variation in replacement of water pumps. Let's talk about the consequences of not repairing your water pump. Suppose it's leaking or making noise and you go, I don't want to fix it. So the consequences are severe. This is something you don't want to mess with because you're going to overheat your engine, you're going to blow it, it's going to cost you a fortune. Also, if you leave it for a while, maybe you don't blow your engine, you could damage some other items. Maybe, depending on how the water pump is, where it's located, it might damage your radiator fan, it may damage pulleys, it may damage the housing where the water pump sits. So even leaving it too long may not blow your engine, but it'll cause other damage. So as a conscientious car owner, you might wonder, well, what can I do to keep my water pump alive for the longest amount of time? And there's not a lot you can do. I mean, a water pump is a sealed item, the bearings are sealed. So they'll last a long time. I mean, the only thing you can really do is regular cooling system flushes, but these aren't required very often on modern vehicles. It used to be you'd flush your cooling system once a year. Nowadays, it's sometimes not for 5 or more years. So just keep an eye on your coolant level, have your car inspected regularly, and when the water pump is noisy or it's leaking, have it fixed right away.